G'day mate, and welcome back to Factorio in 16.17. And we've got these lovely new filters on our splitters, which requires you just throw down a splitter after you've got basic splitter research. There's no new technology to unlock or anything. I'm of course in creative mode, so I've already got everything unlocked. But we now have biters. We have a biter problem. Yeah, I'm in creative mode and I forgot to turn off biters, you know. Yeah. We have a couple of new buttons. We've got an input priority, an output priority, and whether we're inputting, the priority for input is on the left or the right, the output on the left or the right, and we can actually filter where we want the output to go. So, I'm going to do a couple of real-world examples because I think they actually matter more than anything else. So, in the past, when we had a mixed ore, so we had an iron patch mixed with coal, and you'd mine it out, and all the way along the join between where the iron and the coal overlap, you'd end up having to put down one of these lovely contraptions, which would pull out your mixed ore as it came down the belt, and feed it into both chests, and then feed it back out the end. Now, you could do these with just half one of these, and just have the iron ore, for argument's sake, continue along. The catch was, the second you ran out of power, or got low on power, or the other belt backed up, you'd end up with mixed ore again. So you had this giant contraption to do something as basic as ore filtering. We now have this, which is just output priority on the right, because I've decided I want my iron ore to come this way, and I've told it to filter my iron ore. Simple as that. If I unfilter it, I just get the same normal mess you'd normally get. But let's say we want output on the right, output. So that moves everything to the right branch. And then if I say I want iron ore on the right, done. Really simplifies things. It does add a few new interesting things that you can do with belts that you couldn't do in the past. I have no idea why you'd have iron plate and copper plate sharing a belt intentionally, and then want to split it back off, yet two of them sharing a belt, and then want to convert them back to iron and back to copper plate. I can think of battery builds for sulfuric acid. Where's sulfuric acid? Sulfuric acid needs iron plate, and batteries, which are normally fairly close, need iron plate and copper. And I generally have a mixed belt that runs past all my sulfur production and continues onto my batteries. In theory, you could now filter off just the iron plate, which I have done maybe once in the past. Back in my Gigabase series, I think I did it. Goodbye, biter. They're getting annoying. But this is just, as I said, output priority. I want the iron plate all on the left-hand belt, and I want it filtered. It does bring a couple of other interesting things. You can intentionally move your from the left to the right just by saying the output is on the right. Again, I don't know if there's a use for this yet. But as we've seen with Factorio, once the devs give us something, we, the players, find a use for it. This one's the same, and this is just a trick with splitters more than anything else. As you can see, this is the exact same as the belt above. It's just because I'm fitting in copper here, I'm not actually filtering the iron plate. It's just moving across. I'm going to just shoot everything. Go away, biters. You're really ruining my demonstration. Lastly, we have this, which would be the nightmare of all belts. We have lots of different mixed ores coming in, and we can now say filter on the right. We want stone. Output. Actually, no. We don't want to filter the first one. Really? You'd think by now I would have put down turrets or something. We can say this one. We want to filter on the left, and we want stone. And we tick that one. So, I mean, stone comes down this belt. only stone, nothing else. We can then go on to the next one, and we can say output copper. Output, what else do we have fed in? Iron. Output coal. What else do we have fed onto this belt? So it means everything else is coming down here. We can then put in another one that says, hey, output filter sulfur. Alright, so we have filtered everything just by using splitters now. Yeah. Convenient, yes. Slow, definitely. Do you really, biters? I'm not happy. Convenient, yes. Slow, yes, because you're limited to the throughput of one belt. But you know, it's something. It's definitely something. The biggest change I think this will come to, if the biters go and die. Lasers. Done. Should have done this ages ago. And yeah, I'm in creative mode in case you couldn't tell. The biggest change with these new splitters is if you wanted a priority belt. So you wanted to say, hey, I want this mine to mine out first. And then I want this one, my far away one, to mine out second. You had to set up one of these. And as you can see, even though this belt is fully backed up, with the changes for 0.16, we don't have full belt compression. But that's changed. That's drastically changed. Get rid of all the excess coal on the ground. And pop down one of them. So, this would be a plain, simple 50-50 split. But we want to actually prioritize the right-hand side input. So you'll see the only time, if I can stand in the right spot, the only time this left-hand belt moves is when there's a gap on this right-hand belt. So if I stop it for a minute, let it back up for a little bit, you'll see this top belt is just going to stop until there's a little gap, and then it flows along a little bit, just a tiny bit. So that's going to be one of the big changes for, I guess, your input to your base side when it comes to belts. The other big change is I have a fully compressed blue belt, which I've run through your standard 4x4 balancer. I've then slowed it down to red belts to make sure it is 100% compressed. And then I've put in one of my belt takeoffs. So this little baby here, and you've seen them in my existing series, if you've watched my existing series. If you haven't, look, this is a good time to plug them. Go watch some of my series. I've got a SpaceX series running, plus a tutorial series running right this second. This pulls 25% off each belt. Really? Where's another laser? Another one of... How unprofessional of me. Getting hit by biters over and over. Okay. Where were we? So this contraption, for lack of a better term, pulls off 25% off each belt. And then I'm slowing it down to yellow belt. As we know, a yellow belt runs at half the speed of a red belt. We've got 4 red belts here, which is the equivalent of 8 yellow belts. So mine pulls 25% off each belt, plus, and then half that, so 12.5% off each belt, 12.5%, 12.5%, so on and so forth, which means when we get up here, you have very, very, very little ore coming off. You still have the occasional piece of ore at, well, that's 25, that's 50%, that's 100%. At this point, normally, there'd be no ore left. But because these splitters take a percentage off the original belt, there's always something left. It does mean that we've seen these before, where you have rows and rows of splitters, hopefully moving the ore or the plate down to the right-hand side and brought off the belt. With these new priority versions, where you can say, hey, move it to the right, move it to the right, move it to the right, it will always make sure that this right-hand side belt is full. Alright. So as you can see, this right hand side belt stays mostly full until we get to a point where suddenly, you know, the top belt is empty, the second belt is empty, the third belt is empty, and the fourth belt is empty. And we have 25... Well, actually, we're missing ore. So that's 25%, that's 50%, that's 75%, that's 82.5%. No, 87.5%. According to simple maths, it says we're actually missing ore in this setup. So one of these is definitely slowing things down. Let's go back to the original setup that people would use in their buses over and over and over, and we'll see exactly why they fail. I still have ore making it all the way to the end now. So maybe these will be changed. Maybe these will be improved. I do know there is currently some bugs with this new feature. It's only been out for 6 hours, I think, at the time of making this video. So there is a bug that if this belt is blocked... Oh, stand still. If this belt is blocked, this splitter will try and output to here. If this is blocked and this is unblocked, it won't always output. Right? It has a chance to have a think about it. I know somebody asked me, can you hook up a circuit network to these guys? I think the answer is no, not currently. No, we can't hook up a circuit network to the current splitters. Whether they're planning on implementing that, I don't know. But yes, this is vastly going to change just some of those little niggling frustrations, I guess, with the game. This making a priority line is one of those big changes that I've been waiting for. I was happy doing the old version 14, but with the belt optimizations, it got broken in 15, so yeah, I've been waiting for something to be replaced. But yeah, I think the devs were for considering at least upgrading our belts and giving us a proper filter option. It's going to make a massive difference. And that's about it for this video. If I left anything out, if I forgot anything, by all means, write it down in the comments below. This is it's a minor change that could have a very big impact. It's not going to change belt balances as such, but it will definitely change taking off the main bus. That's definitely going to be a big change. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye!